मैंने भी सोचा कि एक दिन जाके हम यूएफसी में फाइट जीत के और इंडिया के नाम बहुत बड़ा करके हम दिखाएगा.
And then 6 got selected, and he was one of the 6. They selected him because of his work ethic.
Welcome back everyone to the Locker Room India YouTube channel, and with us today we have Indian MMA star Roshan Mainam and his coach Vishal Seigell. So guys, I understand that there's some big news that you want to break. So we'll start with Roshan. So Roshan भाई आप news क्या break करना चाहते हो?
कहाँ जा रहे हो?
भाई अभी ट्रेनिंग कुछ जैसे यूएफसी परफॉर्मेंस इंस्टीट्यूट शंघाई में वहाँ पे कुछ ट्रेनिंग के लिए मौका मिल रहा है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल रहे हैं, उसके लिए जा रहे हैं.
Okay, so सबसे पहले आपको कैसा आया ये अपॉर्चुनिटी और क्या बिहाइंड द सीन्स क्या चल रहा था?
हैंग हो गया. जी काफी टाइम से हम बात किया है कि मैं थोड़ा वहाँ पे घुसने के लिए रोड टू यूएफसी में भी मैंने काफी 2 साल ट्राई किया है. तो इस बार जैसे मैं कोच और सोमेश भाई हम लोग सोमेश भाई मेरे को मतलब लेके जाना चाहता था कि वहाँ तक, उसके लिए उसने हेल्प किया है. तो इस साल मेरे को मौका मिला है वहाँ ट्रेनिंग के लिए.
Awesome, coach. So coach, like, what are your thoughts on the opportunity that Roshan has got? Like, what's your take on the whole situation?
So it's an excellent opportunity for Roshan. We all know Roshan did fantastic when he was in one championship. Roshan is the only professional Indian MMA fighter who has gone 3 wins in a row with all finishes: 2 first round finish, and 1 second round finish. No other Indian has done it in a top 2 MMA promotion in the world. So that in itself speaks for itself, right? His 4th fight that he got, Roshan was given that fight 1 day before. He was told to fight Gurdarshan Mangat 1 day before the day of the fight, and Roshan was not prepared. He blames himself that he should have been prepared. But as far as I'm not gonna, just because Roshan has been my long time student, I'm not going to take his, be biased and say no, it's not his fault. Sure, he should have been in better shape, but we also know that around that time COVID was it was a COVID situation, and US and Canada was a little more relaxed. Mangat was training between 10 Planet and TriStar. In Singapore, it was very stringent, it was very strict. You could not train with partners. So, I mean, it's no excuse, it's a fact. You know what I mean? So anyway, after all that, he came back. Unfortunately, his business kind of went down. Father passed away. He had a respiratory infection that not anybody knows about. Very few people know about. And then he's taken about 6 to 8 months to recover from that. And now, his name was sent for the first road to UFC. I was asked by someone, like they were choosing names for road to UFC, and to make a selection for lightweight and for flyweight. I had 2 names. For lightweight, I said if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Anshul Jubli. Flyweight, I had given Roshan's name. Unfortunately, at the last moment, his name got cut for some reason. We don't know why. It boggles my mind. I still want to understand why. However, then the UFC road to UFC came around again. Second time, his name wasn't there. But we had been in touch with Sumesh, and he's been very helpful in this situation. He's the one who tried to get Roshan in for the first one, and now this opportunity came about that there was going to be about 4 Indian athletes who are going to get selected for the Performance Institute in Shanghai, China. So these are the 2 Indian athletes who are going to be there. But as far as he's concerned, this is a very great opportunity for him. And I don't think it's going to come again and again, and he needs to he needs to take advantage of it as much as possible. So, and if somebody can do it, it is Roshan Mainam. In my eyes, there is a few names that come at 56 in India, but the top name, take away the medical issue he had, once he is in full form, there is no one who can stand in front of him, guaranteed.
Awesome. So रोशन भाई आपने काफी लंबे ब्रेक लिए हैं आपके इश्यूज के कारण। सो क्या चल रहा था आपका लाइफ में, वो ब्रेक के बारे में, आपने ट्रेन कर रहा था या क्या चल रहा था उस ब्रेक पे?
हाँ भाई, कि मेरा जो इवॉल्व से सिंगापुर से वन चैंपियनशिप से हम दूर होने के बाद मैं काफ़ी कुछ, मेरा फैमिली का इशू हो गया है। उसके कुछ जल्द से 1-2 मंथ के बाद मेरा फादर का भी डेथ हुआ है और घर पे काफ़ी इशू हो गया था। तो और मैं उसके बाद जो मैंने आरएमएक्स स्टार्ट किया उसमें थोड़ा ज़्यादा फोकस किया है। और उसके बाद जो भी काफ़ी घर पे फैमिली का जो जितना भी इशू है उसमें उसमें ज़्यादा चला गया ध्यान। तो उसके बाद जो सर ने भी बताया कि जो पहला रोड टू यूएफसी सीजन में तो थोड़ा खुश हो रहा था कि फिर से अच्छा दिखाने के लिए मेरे को मौका मिलेगा। तो उसी टाइम भी फिर से अच्छा नहीं हुआ कि मेरा नाम जो होने से पहले मेरा नाम हट गया है। उसके वजह से थोड़ा सा फिर मैं कुछ सोचता रहता था कि कभी मौका मिलेगा यूएफसी में जैसे खेलने का और ट्रेनिंग करने का और आगे जाके खेलने का। तो अभी काफ़ी 2.5 years के बाद अभी मेरे को बहुत अच्छा मौका मिला है कि अगर अ, अभी ज़्यादा अभी सोच रहा है कि अभी काफ़ी हम इंडिया के लिए काफ़ी अच्छा परफॉर्म करेगा अगर अच्छा ट्रेनिंग मिल गया तो।
अच्छा, और आपके जिम के बारे में भी आप बताया तो जिम कैसे चल रहा है आपका आरएमएक्स मणिपुर में?
आरएमएक्स जैसे मैं एक अभी तो जैसे 10 months 1 year होने वाला है। काफ़ी मणिपुर क्राइसिस की वजह से कुछ नहीं चल पा रहा है कि वहाँ पे सब कुछ बिजनेस जो स्कूल कॉलेज मतलब काफ़ी स्टडी में पढ़ाई में और स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है कि उसके साथ साथ आरएमएक्स भी अभी काफ़ी फाइटर लोग हट गए हैं और जैसे क्राइसिस में लगा हुआ है सभी लोग। तो उसकी वजह से अभी काफ़ी खराब चल रहा है अभी कि चल नहीं पा रहा है।
जी, आप विशाल कोच के साथ और कोई कॉम्बैट के साथ भी काफी जुड़े हुए हैं, तो कैसा हेल्प किया कोई कॉम्बैट एंड विशाल कोच ने आपको इस ब्रेक के लिए?
हाँ जी, कि हमें लास्ट फरवरी से मैं घर से निकला हूँ कि ट्रेनिंग के लिए। उसके बाद थोड़ा मेरा हेल्थ इशू भी थोड़ा हो गया था, उसके वजह से थोड़ा ट्रेनिंग रुक गया था। 5-6 महीने कुछ ट्रेनिंग से थोड़ा दूर हुआ। उसके बाद मैं काफ़ी फाइटर लोग जैसे मेरा टीम में काफ़ी फाइटर लोग हैं, नाम जो ले सकते हैं जैको लाइसरम, ये काफ़ी लोग को मैंने अच्छा ट्रेनिंग दिया है। जैसे मैं उसी टाइम मैं ट्रेनिंग नहीं कर पा रहा था, उन लोग के लिए हेल्प किया मैंने। दिल्ली में रेसलिंग जो मैं पहले ट्रेनिंग करता था गुरु हनुमान अखाड़े में, उनको लेके काफ़ी अच्छा रेसलर लोग के साथ मैंने मेरा पूरा टीम को ट्रेनिंग करवाया। 4-5 months ट्रेनिंग दिया। उसके बाद हमको और एमएमए का ज़रूरत थी ट्रेनिंग के लिए, तो मणिपुर जाके तो थोड़ा सा क्राइसिस की वजह से हमारा ट्रेनिंग नहीं हो पा रही थी। इसलिए हम जैसे जो मेरा टीम का फाइटर है मैं उसको लेके यहाँ पे कोई कॉम्बैट में सर के पास आया। तो सब लोग मिलके अच्छा टीम बनाया। उसके बाद फिर से ग्रो किया है।
Coach, coming back to you, what has been the role that Koi and yourself has played in Roshan during his time in one and now going for the UFC PA?
Well, if we start with one, initially, before the opportunity for Evolve MMA came by, we were preparing for a fight in Kolkata. So that fight got cancelled 3 times. So we were perpetually in camp for about a good 6 months. And then at the last moment, about 35 days or 40 days before the Evolve selections, Team Evolve MMA selections in Singapore, we found out through Conan. He's from the Philippines. He has a platform similar to yours, but not as elaborate. And he's a big fan of Roshan, so he informed Roshan that there are these tryouts and you should certainly go. And then we applied for it. We had to kind of hustle, make videos. Anyway, we got all of that done. We sent his profile in, and they said okay, they'll get back. So apparently, 700 to 1,000 people had applied. About 35 got invited, and 6 got selected. So in the 35, you had world champion jiu-jitsu guys, you had professional MMA fighters, know,
UFC
with
fighter.
UFC fighters, both men and women, right? And then 6 got selected, and he was one of the 6. They selected him because of his work ethic. They knew he was a workhorse. I mean, when they had this one drill they were doing up the stairs. कितना stairs था? वो जो उठा के लेके जा रहा था?
100 meters, 10 round,
So
10.
100-meter worth of stairs, 10 rounds they had to do. Going, coming was one round. People were falling, people were stopping, puking, and everything. And there was 2, 3 of them or 4 of them that did not stop, and they kept going and going and going. And so they saw that he was really, somebody who will definitely make a difference, and benchmark a certain standard coming from India. Because if previously, before that, there was Indian fighters who had competed, but not very, there was no phenomenal results, or you know so but when they saw him, and then they selected him, and they knew that he had a good wrestling pedigree, and he already had good striking. He had been training with us for a while, and prior, when he started out with cross train, before he moved to Bangalore for his work. And then we had hooked up again around 2017, 16, something like that. And then we had started training again. So everything kind of culminated, and it all worked out. So at that point in time, that's what it was. And then when things started happening in Manipur, and he came here with some of his boys, and then we got back into it. We were a little disheartened when his first time around, when he was here, and uh, his name wasn't shortlisted for. I mean, it was shortlisted, but then it got removed from Road to UFC. But now, we've Koi Combat Academy was started to bring out talent, from weak socioeconomic backgrounds. Motto is perseverance in the face of adversity. Everybody knows Roshan's story. Started working at about 6, 7 years old, doing odd jobs. Mom worked the rice mills. There's a lot of 90% of the people in MFN right now train with us at Koi Combat Academy, or RMX, and then came to Koi Combat Academy. Recently, an athlete won a belt, him as well. So, the thing is, Roshan is a very humble athlete, and he's very teachable. There is no ego. There is always the willingness to learn. So it kind of works out pretty well for us, him and myself, that we are able to work together. I am able to push him in the right direction. We get help from uh, you know uh, people like Sumesh Kamra, who kind of worked, and also Sid, who have worked and put his name out there, that he is a worthy athlete at 56 kg. And I know for a fact that if he gets, let's say, 6 months of training at the PI, he's a force to reckon with. People underestimate him, because he's not been in action for 2.5 years. But once he gets back, you will see, people will come to realize again, who is India's top dog when it comes to MMA. There'll be a few names, and his has to be there. There is no two ways about it. So yeah.
सो रोशन भाई, आपको कैसा फील हो रहा है अभी? इतना बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी आपको मिल गया है इतना बड़ा ब्रेक के बाद, तो कैसा फील कर रहा है आप?
फिर तो मैं काफ़ी साल से मैं वेट कर रहा था कि ऐसे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ के लिए। तो अभी हाथ में आया तो ऐसे आसानी से ऐसे नहीं जाएगा कि बहुत अच्छा हार्ड वर्क करेगा और हम करके दिखाएगा कि हम कहाँ तक इंडिया लेवल को जैसे प्लेटफ़ॉर्म में लेके आ सकता है, प्लेटफ़ॉर्म में हम कैसे दिखा सकते हैं। तो हमारा कंट्री के लिए अच्छा करने का मौका दिया, इसलिए मैं काफ़ी खुश हूँ कि मैंने भी सोचा कि एक दिन जाके हम यूएफसी में फाइट जीत के और इंडिया के नाम बहुत बड़ा करके हम दिखाएगा। ऐसा मेरा ड्रीम था। तो अभी शायद ऐसा लग रहा है कि अभी ये करने के लिए मौका आ रहा है।
सो क्लोज करने से पहले आप पहले कुछ कहना चाहते हो, लाइक जो भी फैंस है आपका, जो भी आपका वेल विशर्स है, उसके लिए कुछ कहना चाहते हो आप?
क्योंकि काफ़ी जैसे जब मैं वन चैंपियनशिप का टाइम से मेरे को काफ़ी सपोर्ट करता था कि अभी मैं 2-3 साल होने वाला है कि मैं काफ़ी कैश भी नहीं चल रहा है, तो इसलिए काफ़ी लोग नाराज़ है कि काफ़ी लोग देखना चाहता है कि कब मैं वापस आएगा अ, और कुछ क्या करके दिखाएगा। कि काफ़ी लोग मेरे को मैसेज डालता रहता है, कभी-कभी कमेंट में डालता है कि अभी तक मेरा फाइट देखना चाहता है, तो अभी क्यों नहीं खेल रहा, आपका प्राइम टाइम है, वो चला जाएगा, सब ऐसा सब मैसेज आता रहता है। मेरा भी थोड़ा अंदर से दुख लगता है कि मेरा कभी जल्दी से मैं दिखाना चाहता कि अपना परफॉर्मेंस जो अच्छा करके उन लोग को मैं जैसे सरप्राइज भी देना चाहता कि मैं वापस आ गया, और अभी जो पहले जो किया उससे हम काफी और अच्छा करके दिखाएगा, इसलिए दिल में बहुत खुश लग रहा है।
So, coach, like, what are the closing statements that you would like to give before we close?
First of all, I appreciate that you've taken the time to get us, on your platform. I really sincerely appreciate it, and every time you do something for us, I'm very thankful. I just like to state that there's a lot of hardworking athletes out of India. They come from backgrounds that are not the most supporting in every sort of in every sense of the word, but because of the struggles we go through, um, the life he has lived or we live as Indians, even though people think we are not, we're not built to be fighters or top level athletes. People are quite flawed in their thinking in that sense. Um, Somebody like Roshan Mainam or somebody like Anshul Jubli, and so many other athletes, they have worked hard. They have high level IQ. They are workhorses. They have the perseverance, the self control, the determination, the willpower, and the tenacity to get in there and get it done and put India on the map. I'm so proud of this guy. Um, you know, Even with the situations he has gone through, we uh, we have not let that um, we've not let that been an excuse or use that as an excuse of why he's not been there. We still can't make sense of why he didn't make it into the first road to UFC, because if he had been there, then we would have had two guys win the road to UFC, the first edition. And it's not me being cocky. It's me being very, because I know this athlete. I know him very well. I've trained him. I've known him since 2014, and I know he lives, breathes um, honor and work ethic and integrity when it comes to whatever he puts his mind to. So I have nothing but joy, and that he has got this opportunity finally. And there is no way that he will not be in the UFC. I guaranteed that a long time ago. We were delayed a little bit, and some people questioned what we had stated. But now that he's there, this is the first step trying to. He's not in the UFC. We know that. This is the first step to the right direction. He's going to go there. He's going to improve. He's going to show his work ethic. So right now, what he's going for is a little bit of training and evaluation, and I'm sure he's going to get past that, and then he'll be in for a longer duration of training. And if he gets the opportunity to compete, I think we don't know, we're not sure yet if he's able to compete in other promotions while he's at the PI, to kind of get back on track. But whichever way it works, um, we are at Koi Combat Academy, Team Koi RMX, very very elated that he's finally got that opportunity to take the first step, get in the right direction, get trained with the right people. I mean, it's the biggest performance institute in the world, right? So, I mean, I'm at a loss for words, and I wish him nothing but the best. And if somebody can do it, it's Roshan Mainam, the Indian notorious.